Anyway, the evening hit a low point not much later on, so let's take a quiet moment here to listen to the river, reflect on the unburdened sleep of dogs. Ezra taught us a card game. Act 4, Scene 5. The Mucky Mammoth. Who would have guessed? Clara draws a card. 3 deep breaths, 8 white doves, 5 slow hours. Kate draws a card. 7 blue petals, 3 deep breaths, 8 white doves, 5 slow hours. What are we listening to? Oh, just this tape a friend of mine sent me. They live in the desert. Vakinks? Vesinks? Something like that. Sounds good on the Mammoth's PA. Yeah, it's the only way I listen to anything lately. Haha. Your turn, buddy. Ezra draws a card. No, it's this one. 9 gray feathers, 7 blue petals, 3 deep breaths, 8 white doves, 5 slow hours. Will draws a card. 9 gray feathers. Stay focused. Haha. No, I've got it. 7 blue petals. And 5. Oh no, it was 973. This game is more difficult than it sounds, my friend. You still did pretty good. And we're only, how many cards in now? 5 or something? I assume it'll go to 52. It goes until everyone forgets a card. That could go on a long time then. Well, not with this crowd, I guess. We're all too soggy-brained. I know I am. I even take homemade supplements for it. Shade-grown lichen boiled with the peel of a lemon, then frozen and crushed with oak leaves. It's a scalp massage oil. You can smell it if I get close. It dries the brain out a bit, which is helpful for a good memory. If I can remember to use it often enough in the first place. Oh, don't worry, the soggy brain has its benefits too. Your brain is soft and damp. New ideas can make a clear impression, like a boot in wet sand. But, like wet sand, it can easily get muddied and washed away. So there's a trade-off, see? It's a shame we can't have it both ways, isn't it? What's this game called, Ezra? Forgetting game. Huh. Kay likes to give her passengers the opportunity to make some floating around money. That lab pays cash in small envelopes upon completion of their little gauntlet of non-invasive tests. It's a project at the university. I think they're studying... I don't remember. The Mammoth also collects their trash, mostly shredded paper. Though Kate says once they left half a vending machine on the dock. Nobody seemed too interested in the lab stop that night. They stayed aboard and played a card game. I read a book. Let me tell you about it. It's set in a small town in the Pacific Northwest, Twin Peaks. The town is never named, but it's colorfully described: woolly fog, broken coastline, provincial shopkeepers. The main characters are mail carriers. They're co-workers, Mimi and Jen. Mimi is older than Jen, but they seem to be at the same point in their lives. They like their work. They have a playful, antagonistic relationship with their boss. I actually only read a bit from the middle. The two had cause to reflect on the history of their work together. Something got messed up. A document misplaced or filed under the wrong heading. Wasn't really paying close attention to that part, but the event prompted a long conversation about the procedural history of their work together. That illustrated a history of their friendship in broad, suggestive strokes. In my life's work as the Echo River's premier anecdotalist, I've always found that a carefully excerpted moment is a more powerful, is more powerful than any epic history. That's my excuse, anyway, for reading books from the inside out. So I stopped there. My eyelids were getting heavy. We were headed back to the lake when a chance encounter with the Iron Pariah. There you are. But of course, we shan't go to the forest area, whatever the frick that was. I took a nap. Act 4, Scene 6. The Mucky Mammoth. So, are we just gonna look at someone sleeping? Oh, good. Hey, just a quick one here. I'm going ashore to do some mushroom hunting. This little island is my favorite spot, and I figure we're already running late. What's one more unscheduled stop? I just need to find Will and get him up here to keep an eye on things. You know, I bet he's asleep. Could you run down and wake him up for me? Bunks are down on the lower level, right next to the map room. Thanks. People can open doors with their minds. Something to record. It's doing its best. Any fun stuff happening in here? No? Kind of curious what's over here, though. Yeah. Guess there's no conversation to record or anything, but... It's pretty interesting how fast Act 4 can actually move if, well, you don't really do anything. Or at least take the different path. Record a lecture plays from a tape machine next to Will's bunk, and even hinted that he had in mind a design for this device, as recorded in the diary and sundry observations. Why should personalities in another existence or sphere waste their time working a little triangular piece of wood over a board with certain lettering on it? The whole business seems so childish to me. That's why it's made by Hasbro, I think. If we are to make any real progress in psychic investigation, we must do it with scientific apparatus. Again, for Edison, a technical solution to every problem. He goes on to suggest the parameters of the apparatus. And, yes, a question in the back? James? Indistinguishable. Yes, this idea of personalities lingering after death does appear to be in conflict with Edison's theories about what he called life units. Subatomic entities that animate matter and then scatter to other configurations when a person passes on. But given Edison's emphasis on memory and cognition, remember we're talking about the inventor of the phonograph, and his colorful description of the swarm of interchangeable drone-like, Edison even uses the word proletarian, life units animating the human mind. His theory naturally posits that any individual life unit possesses on its own some fragment of memory. So, according to Edison, when life units recombine from, say, a soldier into, say, a flower, we may be able, using some apparatus, to coax out from the flower memories of war. The tape stops. Will wakes up. Well, hello, small man. You caught me in my pre-dawn nap. Try sleeping little nibbles when I can. Maximizes my time in the threshold states. What were you listening to? Well, I used to work at a university, and I'd always eavesdrop on lectures through the ventilation system. Pretty sure you can go through the doors. Anything and everything. I'm a polymath by nature. An old friend recently found this box of tape-recorded lectures next to the dumpster there. Pass them on in the spirit of fondly recalling better days. This one is... Will looks at the label on the tape. History of the Philosophy of Death. Yikes! I play these old tape lectures during my little nibble naps to absorb the information more easily. It's pretty effective. Wish I could do everything half asleep. Can't say I learned very much just now, though. I may have been too busy dreaming. Vivid narcotic fantasia aboard the... But those are always the quickest to dissipate. Better tell you about it now before the spell is broken. Will takes a deep breath, focusing on the task of recalling his dream. I was small. Not a child, an animal maybe. Patrolled the corridors of a great iron ship, searching for scraps and... mice, I think. And crying, always, a weak and mournful mew. Other crewmen slumped in odd corners or lay drunk on the deck. The hull smelled of shame, defeat, and rot-gut corn whiskey. They dumped artillery into the water, tore their flags into cloth scraps, and made handkerchiefs to bury their sobbing faces. They drifted on Lake Leth, drinking the cold, black water and eating eyeless fish, raw, when they at last ran out of cooking fuel. They seemed, in their despair, to forget even language. After an interval of years, the ship crossed a threshold into absolute silence. Silence, except for my hopeless, whimpering cry. Anyway, that's all I remember. Lately, I never remember my dreams. Probably for the best. The images of dreams are often wasted on the waking. Well, I got a stew to start. You may want to hurry back above deck. I believe we're about to pass the bat sanctuary. It's quite a thing to see. Kay came back from her mushroom hunting excursion with a small basket full of oddly colored caps and stems, no doubt delicious to a morsel. Of course, she intended to use many of them in her medical practice, to ease the pain, nausea, and anxiety of pregnant women. But I can usually rely on my charms to snare a bite or two. I have no preferences when it comes to mushrooms, by which I mean that I treat them all interchangeably. I prefer not to know their names or qualities before I cook them up and eat them. It's useless after all. They escape your erudition, as the fella says. That's a good mushroom hunting island, I guess. It's plenty damp and they got the cypress trees there to grow on. Of course they're not indigenous, the cypress trees, I mean. Everyone down here seems to agree that they were planted as some kind of marker or memorial. Most people will tell you they've got a distant relation or acquaintance who helped dig a hole or water a seedling. But nobody remembers what it was all for. Nobody left a plaque or anything. It's a shame. Looks like it must have been a lot of work. Well, at least we have the trees. And the mushrooms. Shannon helped me fix up a mushroom stew in the kitchen. Act 4, Scene 7. The Mucky Mammoth. I really don't know how this one's gonna play out. I had a few of these really big caps with the slimy gills. I shouldn't say slimy. Moist. No, that's not a better word. The lady in the video called for portobello, but I prefer never to know a mushroom by name. So is this a breakfast stew? It will be, but not today. This stew is for tomorrow. It has to simmer all day. Some things are just better done slowly. We've had the anonymous mushrooms, so next we... I got the recipe video on pause next door. I used to follow a recipe I learned from Ida herself. The best cook you're gonna meet on this river. Of course, it had a few secret ingredients. She has the good sense to preserve some mystery around her cooking. Better for business. Ida's so shrewd, she swore me not only to secrecy, but to ignorance. Ida promised to forget the recipe just as soon as I'd cooked it. Let me tell you, it's not so easy to forget something on purpose as you may think, my friend. Not so easy. I was gonna say, there should be one more. Crushed tomatoes, salsa, or even a little ketchup. Here's the thing, nobody has to know. Throw in some more of that spice blend we threw together earlier. Stir that up and crack a beer, baby. You'll be here for a while. What'd you just say to do? Will's trying to make the stew right now. She just said to add something red. I saw some maraschino cherries in there. Maybe I can help him figure it out. I got kind of sucked into this program. That just sounds creepy. Even that wasn't enough to convince her. So I trained rigorously in the art of forgetting, studying for months under a master amnesiac. Finally, I learned to forget so quickly and accurately that I was able to convince Ida to share with me the most obscure secrets of her kitchen. As a demonstration of my trustworthiness, I forgot the names of my own parents right there in front of her. Every time I wanted to cook this legendary stew, I'd call Ida up on the telephone and ask her for a quick, temporary reminder. Here on the boat, we haven't got a phone line, so I have to seek out culinary wisdom on videotapes of cooking shows. So back to the matter at hand. Next Did you already make a spice blend? The spice blend. Oh, it's you! I thought... Never mind. Hello. Well, I don't know that it qualifies as a spice blend, but I spilled the salt in Simicate's herbal tea here. Hey there, could I ask you... Wait, why are you cooking? We're stopping at Santa Anita's in 20 minutes. It's for tomorrow! Oh. Well, just don't forget about it this time. I'm not scrubbing up any more boiled over sludge. Sorry. Listen, I have a favor to ask. There's a package for the telephone exchange, and I can't get the mammoth back there. Can you deliver it for us? That guy I mentioned from the TV station, Dashiell Morse, works there now. Thought you might like to chat with him anyway. Thanks a lot. I got the dinghy all ready to go. Maybe take your friend with you. One of you can man the outboard motor, and the other can aim the flashlight. It's dark. I'm gonna have to do it anyway, won't I? Act 4, Scene 8. That's how they got this to work. Echo River Central Exchange. Thanks again for your help. This is about as far as the tugboat can go. You know, noise and lights disturb the bats. So you'll pass through the Bat Sanctuary, which is really nice, by the way. Be sure to check out all the plaques and stuff for them cool bat facts. Plenty of time. Anyway, the Echo River Central Exchange, or excuse me, Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. They changed the name when the power company took over. Anyway, it's just on the other side of the Bat Sanctuary. This package is going to Poppy. She's an operator. The operator. We'll meet you on the other side of Salmonitis for our scheduled early breakfast stop. Just follow the river. Can't miss it. Oh, I almost forgot. You may or may not be interested. There's a kind of weird memorial sculpture on your way in, just before the Bat Sanctuary. I'd always recommend people at least stop and take a look at it. It's really sort of... I don't know how to say it. You should check it out.